Okay, so good day to you, my dear students in Logic, Philo 2 Logic. Once again, I'm Sean Xavier Alquilita. So this time I'm going to tackle the last topic of the of the chapter Eductions, and this is what we're going to do today. This is what we call this inversion or inverse. Okay, so inversion is the last topic for the eduction. So here, it inversion likewise involves um, a series of oversion and conversion. Likewise involves oversion as well as conversion. Okay, here what we're going to do right now is inversion can be of two types. No, this is what we call it as partial inversion. So we're going to do first what is partial inversion. Partial inversion in which the subject is contradictory. The subject, the subject is contradictory of the given subject, and the predicate is just the same as from the given predicate. So here, from the given, the given is inverted. This is what we call it as partial inverse or PI. So as you can see here, that the subject here is contradictory from the given subject, and the predicate is just the same as with the predicate. And the second type of inversion is what we call it as the full inversion. So it's an inferred proposition whose subject and predicate are contradictories of the given subject and predicate. So here, here in the given, the given, the subject and the predicate are contradictory. So as I put there, the line, no, above the text that represents the contradiction from the given subject. So this is the inverted, and this is the full inversion. Okay, so without further ado, let us start now with inversion. Okay, just an example here. So let's start with the A proposition. All judges are lawyers. This is the A proposition. Now, always be mindful, guys, that inversion of A proposition always begins with oversion. So I put here. So don't forget about this, that A proposition always begins with oversion. So let's start here. So let's start with oversion. So you're going to overse the inverted proposition. Inverted, all judges are lawyers, or the given proposition. So here, oversion. Okay, what's the first step of oversion? First is you're going to retain the subject. Okay, retain the subject, and later on you're going to change the quality of the copula from affirmative, because a proposition is affirmative, you're going to change it into negative. So from all are into, from A proposition into E proposition, all are into no judge is. Then you can say lawyers. The third step of a version is to contradict the predicate term. So, okay, none. No judge is a non-lawyer. That is your version. Okay, next, it involves the alternations of aversion and conversion. So the next thing that you're going to do is to convert the averse. Okay, so this is how to solve the problem. No judge is a non-lawyer. So next one is you're going to converse. So the first step to conversion is to interchange the subject and predicate. So the subject becomes the predicate and the predicate becomes the subject. Okay. And the judge. Okay. And the next step is to just retain the quality of the copula. So if it is negative, just retain as negative. So from here, just retain as negative. No lawyer is a judge. And from here, if you remember from the previous topic, this one, if the subject is if the subject here is contradictory from the given predicate and the predicate is just the same as with the original subject, this is what we call it as partial contraposition. So don't forget this one. That is partial contraposition. The next that you're going to do is to averse. Averse the partial contraposition. Okay, so the first step to aversion is to what? You're going to retain the subject. Retain the subject. Then the second step is to change the quality of the copula from no lawyer is into what? You're going to change from E proposition into A proposition. So all non-lawyers are. Then contradict the predicate term from judge into non-judges. Since that all is plural, can say are non-judges. As you can see here, that the subject is contradictory from the given predicate and the predicate is contradictory from the given subject, and this is what we called it as full contraposition. Okay, now let's go over now with the next step. The next step is what we called it as you're going to do conversion. Okay, you're going to converse the full contraposition. Okay, so what you're going to do with conversion? First step is what? You're going to don't forget the 3 steps of aversion and conversion, because if you do those 3 steps of aversion and conversion, everything will follow. Okay, so you're going to, first step of conversion is to interchange the subject and the predicate. So here, okay, so non-judges and non-lawyers. Okay, the next step is to retain the quality of the copula. So if it is affirmative, just retain as affirmative. But since that the full contraposition is an A proposition, you're going to converse by limitation or conversion per accidents, right? So from A proposition, from universal proposition, you're going to, by converse, from universal, you're going to change it into particular proposition. So, but the quality of the copula remains the same as affirmative. So from all non-lawyers are, you can say some non-judges. Oh no, some non-judges are non-lawyers. Okay, as you can see, that the subject is contradictory to the original or from the given subject. Non-judges, judges. The non-lawyers, the predicate is contradictory from the given predicate. The predicate is contradictory from the given predicate. So therefore, this is full inversion. Okay. So to make this into a partial inversion, the last step is to overse. Overse. We're going to overse the full inversion. We're going to overse this one, the full inversion, the I proposition. Some non-judges are non-lawyers. Okay. What's the first step of aversion? Is to retain the subject. And then, after which, you're going to change the quality of the copula from affirmative down to negative. So some are, you're going to change into not all. Not all non-judges are. And then, contradict the predicate term from non-lawyers to lawyers, and that is already your partial inversion. Okay, so that completes the process of the deduction of the A proposition. For that it also involves the aversion and conversion. As you can see here, you have here the partial contraposition, you have here the full contraposition, you have here the full inversion, and lastly, you have here the partial inversion. Okay, so the next one is to do the E proposition. So inversion of E proposition. Okay, so this is just an example. No cat is a dog. Always remember that inversion of E proposition always begins with conversion. You have to begin always with conversion. So from here, from the given, let's start without further ado. Going to solve the problem. So first step of conversion is to interchange the subject and the predicate. So the predicate becomes the subject and the subject becomes the predicate. And then retain the quality of the copula from just retain. If it is negative, just stay as negative. So no dog is a cat. Okay, so that is your conversion. The next one is to, what you're going to do next? You're going to do with oversion. Okay, so E proposition, the inversion of E is different from A. Always remember that. The inversion of E proposition is just different from A proposition. So just follow the line here. Follow this rule. And do not forget to follow the three-step rule of conversion and oversion. Okay, so for oversion, just retain the subject. First step, just dog. Then change the quality of the copula from no is into all dogs are. Then retain, change the contradict the predicate term from cat into non-cats. That is the third step. Okay. So from here, what's the next step? You're going to do with conversion. You're going to converse this one. Going to converse the A proposition, the previous oversion. So from here, the first step is to interchange the subject and the predicate. So the predicate becomes the subject, non-cats, and then the subject becomes the predicate. Okay, since that this one is an A proposition, all dogs are non-cats is an A proposition, you're going to converse it by limitation or conversion per accidents. Okay, just retain the quality as affirmative, but the quantity changes from universal into particular. So from all dogs are non-cats, from all dogs are into some non-cats are dogs. Okay, so that is, if you can see here, non-cats. The subject is contradictory from the given subject, and the predicate is just the same as with the original or the given predicate. This is what we call it as partial inversion. Okay, so last. So from conversion, you're going to change it into, from partial inversion, you're going to change it into full inversion. How? The last step is to do oversion. You're going to overse the partial inversion. Okay, so how to do it? Oversion. Just follow the three-step rule. Retain the subject, non-cats. Okay, non-cats. And then the next step is to change the quality of the copula from non-cats are into not all. Not all non-cats are. Then, lastly, you're going to contradict the predicate term from dogs into non-dogs. So, as you can see here, the subject is contradictory from the given subject and the predicate is contradictory of the given predicate. So, therefore, this is full inversion. So, that completes the process. So, since that you start with conversion, that E proposition always begins with conversion, there is no partial and full contraposition in any of these propositions. Okay, so get it? So this is how to do inversion of E proposition. Okay, the next one is that we're going to do with this. Don't forget this one. Okay, how about with the I and O proposition? I and O propositions, sorry, cannot be always remember, guys, that I and O propositions cannot be inverted. Okay, so the inversion only involves A and E proposition. So inversion only involves A and E Okay, inversion only involves A and E propositions and nothing else. Okay, so if you have any questions, just post your questions in our group chat for more further questions. And from here, this is the last of the topic of eduction. So once again, I'm Sean Xavier Alquilita. So thank you very much.